Rejection is a bitch in anything, but specifically in sales. It's the hardest thing in sales and the #1 cause of death in the industry. I'm gonna give you step-by-step how to master rejection in sales so you can win more right now. I'm Brandon Biskey and the co-founder of an 8-figure consulting firm, Make Sales Great Again. I personally sold over $500 million in my 20-year sales career and trained over 5,000 reps across more than 20 industries worldwide. But most importantly, I've been rejected more than maybe anyone on planet Earth. And honestly, if I had a secret to my success, it'd be that. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of rejection than you ever have. You'll know exactly how to trick your brain into not being affected by rejection like over 90% of sales reps, and have a step-by-step tactical approach to turning rejection from an enemy to an ally. So to be able to solve any problem, we first have to understand the problem, right? So first, let's get a deeper understanding of rejection, what it does to us, and the biggest mistake we all make. Rejection is inevitable. In life and in sales, we experience micro rejections every single day. Anytime we don't get our way, it's a rejection. Some are bigger and hurt more than others because of the people or the stakes involved. The secret to success and longevity in sales lies in how well we can handle it. The one who handles rejection the best at high volumes consistently are the ones who win more and, most importantly, win longer. Rejection also isn't biased. The best closers in the world probably close about 40% of people, averaged amongst industries. This means that the best sales professionals in the world get rejected more than half the time. So we know it's not going anywhere, and it's everywhere. The next question is, what does it really do to us? Well, unfortunately, rejection literally hurts. Scientific research shows rejection activates both, wait for this, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula, aka the same areas that process physical pain in our brains. So it's inevitable. It's more than half of your life as a sales professional, and it quite literally hurts. Now let's look at the biggest mistake we all make with rejection, and then we'll dial in exactly what works to handle it like a pro in sales. Now we're gonna use an example I think we can all relate to. And the example is we got shut down at the bar, picking up chicks or picking up dudes at the bar, whatever you're into, right? So here's the rejection. I got turned down by 2 people at the bar. Now here's what you're feeling. You may not say it, but it's in your brain. These are the thoughts. This is where our brain goes. Oh my God, there's no one out there for me. I suck at dating. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm never gonna find anyone. Now here's the reality associated with each one of those statements. Dude, it was 2 out of 8 billion people in the world. I think you're gonna be fine. Dating isn't only picking up people at the bar. 2 people said no, and you don't even really know the reason why. Maybe they weren't even single. Again, 2 people don't speak for the world. Now, what you're thinking right now is probably, duh. Those are all the obvious things, and we can think logically about it for sure. But let's be real. All of our minds have taken us to that place more times than not in a multitude of rejection scenarios. And it's not a weakness. It's not being overly emotional. It's not crazy. It's natural human instinct, unfortunately, to go to that place, especially when we're newer in the industry or haven't even been trained otherwise. This is called cognitive distortion. And this is the silent killer of salespeople. This is your brain creating irrational or exaggerated thoughts that can lead to inaccurate perceptions of reality. So let's bring it back to sales for a second, right? We get rejected at the close or get hung up on when we're dialing. Rejection at scale are gonna cause thoughts like this. What the hell did I do wrong? I should have done X instead of Y. God, I'm not right for this. I'm not good at this, etc., etc. Those are all the distortions, the illogical perceptions of reality. The reality is, not all of the 8.1 billion people on this earth are your customers. If you can logically say to yourself, of course, I know everyone isn't going to be my customer, then you're a step closer to logically acknowledging that you're bound to talk to people who won't become your customer. And hell, a ton of them may have even been your ideal customer, but the standard sales defense, the fear of falling into the pitch, the accidental answering of a cold call, the million other reasons people either don't buy or don't even want to listen to you have been disguised as rejection. And once you get comfortable knowing those realities, the fear of rejection can slowly start to dissipate because we know logically it should happen. A rejection is a single data point, not an identity. Now let's get into the first tactical thing that will skyrocket your ability to handle more rejection than you ever have, and what's made me more money in sales than anything else. In sales, the most productive personality type is being a realist. If we look at optimists, pessimists, and realists, here's what we typically see. Optimists hope for the positive outcome. Pessimists focus on the negative outcome. And the realists have an objective, balanced approach that see the probability of both the negative and the positive possibilities and avoid the extremes. Now, it's pretty obvious why a pessimistic approach in sales is a recipe for failure, but it's not so obvious when we consider optimism. In a world of constant rejection, unknowns, strenuous work, high expectations, and the stresses of earning, it would be logical to think that optimism would be the healthiest mindset. Hell, studies even suggest that optimists tend to be more resilient to stress and use better coping strategies. So why the hell would I be saying to not be that? The trick is to flip between optimism and realism given the scenario. For instance, you're about to start prospecting for the day. This requires realism. Why? We know statistically we're about to jump into a pool of rejection. Most people aren't going to answer the door, and the ones that do, they're going to tell you to leave. Most people aren't going to answer the phone, and the ones that do, they won't have the time. This isn't being negative. These are the statistical facts. So we need to go into these types of activities with the approach of understanding the numbers game you're about to play. This keeps a healthy mindset for longer. You won't be discouraged on the 80th door and no appointment set. You won't be discouraged at the 200th call with no traction. Your realistic expectations and knowing the numbers means you're primed for the volume, the long haul for the day, the week, even the month. Now let's say, another scenario, you're prepping for the day and you're in a meeting with your peers, you're looking at your goals for the quarter. This is where optimism can be a powerful tool. Now this doesn't mean realism is thrown out the window. We're not talking about blind, unrealistic optimism, but optimism in the sense that you are focused on the likelihood of the positive outcome. Hell yeah, I'm gonna crush my quarterly goals. I'm gonna get through all 500 dials today. I'm gonna achieve X, no doubt. These are optimistic thoughts, focusing on the positive outcomes. Sales requires you to be a chameleon in multiple ways. You have to adjust your tonality, pitch, and style to different prospect personality types to gain trust and rapport with everyone, not just who you naturally vibe with. So this is just another test for your chameleonness. Regardless of your natural personality type, it's your job to be intentional about the way that you think and when you think it. Is it easy? No. But neither is getting to the top of the sales game. This video on rejection is just scratching the surface of what we dive into in our new sales course, 7 Cornerstones to 7-Figure Sales. We've spent years on this course and wanted to include everything other courses leave out, what got us to where we are, and what we've taken from the top closers around the world. If that interests you, even 1%, click the link in the description and check it out. If you're liking this video so far, like the vibe, please let us know by subscribing, liking the video, and dropping a comment. That's how we really know we're putting good stuff out there. If you want other stuff too, let us know in the comments. And like everyone else, we're on most other platforms, so all the links are in the description. Sales, leadership, business stuff, that's what we're all passionate about. Appreciate you taking the time to check this out. Happy selling. Now, here's the tactical mindset shift that's required to put what we just spoke about into action. Now, at the heart of every single sales conversation, there is one inarguable truth. We hope we get a deal. But we're going to flip that script right now, especially for when you're about to begin prospecting for the day. Instead of hoping for the yes, I want you to expect a no. Hoping for the yes in prospecting is setting a high expectation for the positive outcome. The hard part is we're biased in our desired outcome. We want the positive outcome because that's our job, to get as many conversations to that place as possible, and that's literally how we get paid. But this hope puts an emotional attachment to the likelihood of that positive outcome. And this is what we don't want. So instead, let's put our realistic hats on and expect a no. And no, this isn't pessimism. Pessimism is focusing on that worst case scenario. Expecting a no in this case is being the realist. For one, because we know that is the statistical likelihood in the early stages of prospecting. And the power of the realist really comes into play the longer and more you continue to beat through the rejection, because you know the longer and more you do it without success, the greater and greater the likelihood that the positive outcome is right around the corner. Not because of hope, but because the realist in you knows the law of averages. Expecting a no also allows you to not be thrown off by rejection or objection. You were already expecting it. So you're more prepared with your advancing the sale or transition questions to get this prospect talking more or to keep the conversation moving. It's faster and more natural because you knew that was going to be that first micro outcome for that moment. Now, what are some benefits of expecting the no with realism? First, it's going to decrease the emotional attachment. It's going to frame your mind that positive outcomes will likely come with volume and time. It sets your mind for the long haul. It increases your alertness. It increases your active listening naturally. So let's take some of the high points and recap a little bit of what we just reviewed. Rejection is the #1 cause of death in sales, and it literally hurts. It activates the same part of the brain as physical pain. But it's everywhere and inevitable, so mastering how you handle it is the real key to winning long term. Most reps fall victim to cognitive distortion. Your brain turns one no into I suck at this. But the reality, a rejection is just a data point, not your identity. Optimism feels good, but realism is the most productive mindset in sales. You need to know when to switch between the two. Be a chameleon. Adapt your thinking like you adapt your tonality and your pitch. The tactical move, flip the expectation. Instead of hoping for the yes, expect the no. Not from a negative place, but from a place of realism. That way, you're not thrown off emotionally and you're ready to push through the numbers game. Thank you so much for watching, especially getting this far. You must have liked it, so if you wouldn't mind showing some love with a like, a subscribe, and a comment. That'll help us out and tell us we're putting the right stuff out there. Also, throw in the comments a rejection that hit you hard and what you learned from it. One last thing, this video just scratches the surface, honestly, of what we go over in our new sales course, 7 Cornerstones to 7-Figure Sales, where we give tactical steps to sell more right now and for the long term. Check out the link in the description. I'm Brandon, and this is Make Sales Great Again. We'll see you in the next video.